Next off, we have how AI agents are enhancing on-chain yield products, and it will be discussed by Julien from Stake Capital, founder and CEO, Xavier, founder and CIO of Practice VC, Anto, principal security engineer of Eigenlayer, Wrench, CEO at Giza, and moderated by Yair, Lava Network contributor. Welcome, guys.
Let's go. All right.
Hey everyone, I guess there's some jet lag over here, so we try to keep it some spice and, before we start, I have a question for you. Who has a phone here?
Nah.
Okay, I see some phones in the crowd. So I have a challenge for you. In the next 30 minutes, take the phone and put it in your pocket. I know it's a big challenge. Be here with us, okay? There is an amazing curated panel, and I invite everyone to be here and listen. Let's get started. I want everyone to introduce himself, and starting with a couple of sentences, and at the end, add what is AI in crypto for you. Julien, you want to start?
Yeah, for sure. So Julien Bouteloup, founder and CEO of Stake Capital. Stake Capital is an investment vehicle, and we've been in the space for a very long time, prior to DeFi, and then also been building a couple of different projects in DeFi. AI in crypto, I think it's the capacity of being able to automate a lot of different aspects of financial product that can be more secure and more optimized.
Cool, yeah. I'm
1-1.
Okay.
Anto, you want to? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
No, Anto, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I can go. Yeah. So I'm Anto Joseph. I'm with Eigen Labs, the creators of Eigenlayer, the restaking protocol, and now Eigen Cloud. So we have deterministic AI inference that you can hold accountable. That's live today. And we have Eigen Compute, which is TEEs. And together with Eigen AI and Eigen Compute, you can make AI agents that, for example, a developer cannot just rug. That seems to be what's the state of the art today. So we are improving that by securing the AI agents for the masses. So that's why we are in this space.
Thank you, Anto. Sev, you want to go?
Yeah, okay, I was working now. I'm Xav, so I am the founder and CIO of Practice. It's a new VC fund. We're primarily investing at pre-seed stage. Most of our investments are actually in the crypto and AI space. So actively speaking and investing in founders building in the space. For me, I think AI helps us to use crypto, discover what to do in crypto, and also optimize certain things in crypto. So yeah, very much a space that I spend most of my time right now researching and thinking and speaking with founders. So yeah, excited to talk more about it today.
Thank you. Wrench?
Hello, everybody. My name is Wrench. I'm the CEO of Giza. And at Giza, we build agents that takes lifetime of financial operations and compresses them into on-chain entities. They take decisions on your behalf. For me, the AI and crypto intersection is all about compression. It's all about understanding how do we take these massive workflows of finance and build them into one-click agents that operate on your behalf with your policies to make everyone more performant and more secure and safe and everything else we're going to talk about today.
Sounds great. So let's start up with some warm-up questions. No thinking allowed, okay? The first thing happened to your mind just jumps. One sentence, okay? Julien, biggest risk?
Well, I think the biggest risk is when you have
one sentence.
10,000 AI being able to signal in the same way, so they can call it between each other.
Safe.
The biggest risk is execution, I think, right now, but I think that will be de-risked very soon.
Rugging.
Ranch?
I think the biggest risk is the underlying DeFi infrastructure currently, not on the AI side and not on the agent side.
Ranch, you continue. Biggest opportunity?
The biggest opportunity is to provide personalized finance to each entity, to each fund, to each institution, where they can set boundaries and the agents can automate them.
Accountable AI products.
That's a big opportunity. Yeah, Xavier?
I think a natural language interface that owns distribution and changes the way that we use crypto is still a huge opportunity.
Personal AI agent that can manage all your financial positions in real time.
One or two? Only one agent or two agents?
Oh, you have multiple agents.
many as you need.
Different skills. Yeah.
Good. Guys, I still see some of you with the phone, okay? Remember the challenge for you. We continue. First thing agents will automate.
Yeah, I feel slightly strongly about the fact that agents might start automating things to do with like Pendle, like looping, etc. Like things that we do in DeFi manually right now that are a bit annoying and risky and we spend time and money on. I think they're the most obvious things that I think agents will start optimizing and automating. So I expect that to happen in the next few months, actually.
Cool.
Well, asset management, yeah. Rebalancing, risk management, yeah.
Yeah, I think more like information processing might be like the lowest risk and highest reward to start with. And as we get better at AI and agents, we'll move up the financial step.
Right. Wrench?
Already automated everything Xavier wanted to automate in the next few months, in the past few months. And already automating about everything Julien wants to automate today as well. I think we are there already, like taking it from theory to production. I think now it's all about scale.
Nice. Okay, so let's dive into more thorough questions. And I want to take you back to the liquidation event in October. I spoke with some of you about that in the last days. I want to unpack better what really happened there. So let's start, Anto, with you. From Eigen perspective,
Yeah.
how this restaking mechanism can enforce less liquidation experience that we had like that. What's your perspective from Eigenlayer on this?
So is the question about how does restaking solve liquidation?
For example, yeah.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, liquidation is when like you do like some leverage trading and then market moves a different way and then you lose access to your funds, right? So now what restaking means is you are a Ethereum validator and you have some 32 ETH or multiples of that at risk by being a beacon chain validator. And now you can use that capital to secure additional commitments. And one of those commitments can be that you watch this agent watches my leverage and adjusts my risk according to how the market moves. And now this agent is accountable because with Eigenlayer, you can have some stake backing this agent. And if this agent fails its commitments, you can slash that agent and get some money back. So we call it, you can think of it as insurance, if you will. So like how you have FDIC insurance with like Robinhood, you can have a similar experience if you use an agent to watch your liquidation thresholds. And if the agent doesn't do its job, you can always come back to Eigenlayer and be like, this didn't work like it should. So you can get some money back from the stakers that backed that service. So that is how it should work.
Thank you, Anto. Xavier, I want to continue with you. We see more than $1 billion during this liquidation event moving from more DeFi risk yield products to more stable products, let's say. Are we heading towards AI native funds that can also balance the speed of such an event? And what's your take on that?
Yeah, I've got a take on that and maybe just a quick take on the question before as well. So one team I spoke to recently I thought was a pretty cool product. They're using AI to discover where risks exist in DeFi, and they deliberately take high-risk strategies in DeFi, where a lot of capital going into that are high yield, and they actually take out that capital before certain events happen, like the liquidation on 1010 and the stream finance thing. They've accurately predicted, I think, 7 or 8 occasions where a hack or a depegging or something has happened, and they've been able to take out funds and like increase the yield. So a product like that is obviously extremely risky and very early, but I think these kinds of products are becoming very, very interesting in the space. when it comes to like AI native funds, so there's another team I'm speaking to right now, which they're a very heavy infrastructure team, and I love teams like Giza and other people building the infrastructure, but I think there's already a lot of AI infrastructure, there's a lot of supply side, like the question is really on the demand side. Like as a VC fund, we have capital, and when I'm looking to allocate some of the capital for yield, it's like very unlikely for me to like probably put this into agent pools right now because they're just not mature enough, etc. So then I always think about like the end user, like where's the demand coming from right now? I do think one very interesting use case in general is an AI native fund if they can actually outperform liquid funds. Like I'll have friends in the liquid fund space that produce pretty good yields, but I know them personally, I have those personal relationships, I kind of trust them, and even if the yields are lower, I kind of trust them with my capital basically, so I'm not necessarily optimizing for the highest yield. But these guys are building cross-chain execution for these agents. There's probably 2 or 3 teams I'm speaking to right now that are really heavily focused on the cross-chain execution side of AI agents, which I think is like very interesting and very like cutting edge and probably the next phase of where the space is going. And I said to them, I've been pushing them, if you can build an AI native fund that I can deploy capital into, and one of their ideas is like, let's say a new chain launches like Monad or Mega ETH, I'll give it capital and it'll deliberately try and find me the highest yielding opportunities on that chain for a certain period of time. Then it'll take it out and put it to Mega ETH, for example. Like something like that, I want personally as a user. I feel like these kinds of products aren't necessarily being built yet, so you kind of have to push them in a line to do this. So that would be literally an AI native fund, which is trying to capture those strategies across chains. And the question is like, there's many risks and how do you verify the work and stuff like that. But like these kinds of products, I think are actually very interesting right now.
And what's the timeline on that?
A few months, I think.
Few months.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the liquidation question, but because you mentioned that, I speak with Julien recently about AGI, and I want to hear your take about when is it coming.
AGI or liquidation on AGI?
No, not liquidation, the AGI.
Well, I don't know, like if you listen to some pretty famous podcasts, people are saying we're already experiencing AGI, but then you have more solid, profound theories where the next 6 months you will have AGI. The question is really, after AGI, where do we get into super intelligence? This is more the profound question. But yeah, AGI, I think we already have an experiencing pretty advanced reasoning and capability on the intelligence side. So I think it's not a matter of are we going to experience AGI, but a matter of time. And I think maybe in less than 5-6 months we'll probably have it. Yeah, if we not already have it. Yeah.
If we don't have it, and how it will influence the next liquidation event when we have AGI? What do we see different in the market?
Well, I think the liquidation concept, what happened is really the untrust concept of centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges or DeFi features. I think we need more. I mean, we've been in this space talking about it for more than a decade, but more transparency, more accountability, and unless you can prove that a certain actor is behaving the way he's pretending to behave, then it's extremely dangerous and quite difficult to predict. So when we're entering in privacy, confidentiality, I think 2 of the main features in the space are, for example, like abstraction, providing policies for users to be able to delegate their fund and being able to use in certain ways. But then the second feature that is becoming way more adopted by the industry is verifiable compute. So for example, FHE or ZK, the ability for players to prove that things are working in certain ways. And if centralized exchanges, they don't necessarily want to implement this because they still want to play under the table, but they will be forced to play it that way because until as soon as they start adopting that technology, it will bring way more solid workflow for the DeFi space. And then you will have less unpredictable liquidations. Of course, you still have the casino gaming aspect of DeFi where people take
gambling.
Gambling. This will not still really exist after the ZK and FHE being implemented at the large scale, but it will avoid massive black swan, because the problem is like for market makers, hedge fund is being, if you play and take a position on something that is supposed to be stable, and then they take for unrelated events, then it's extremely difficult to predict.
Yeah.
And also extremely unfair. Yeah.
And By the way, some interesting fact about the liquidation event that I came to know only recently, that the outflows from the traditional market ETFs were only 200 mil, so relatively small. And maybe for people in the room that more OG DGen, the liquidation was kind of a warning signal, but at the same time, the traditional market didn't react so fast and moved away with 200 million.
If I can add, how many people here read Rec News? Okay. Yeah, cool. So, well, we're running Rec News. It's been for 6 years. And if you check the page, you will see that 4 or 5 days prior to the October 10th, and also last week, we predicted that some stablecoins will depeg, and you can check the big names. So we had prediction that something was going on. So you can still analyze the signals and make decisions and hedge yourself, or make decisions that can sell your portfolio. But yeah, we wrote intensively about the space and what will happen, and it happened. I'm not saying that we can read in the future, but you can really analyze signals. And what is like, when you have AGI and AI coming into play, those tools will be able to predict way more what could happen.
Yeah, so maybe someone already has AGI here. And the same question for Wrench. After the volatility this event, you see a spike of 3x in demand for verifiable compute, right? So how close are we to real-time verifiable compute?
Well, direct news runs on verifiable computation
We're the first one.
provided by Giza. This is the first one as well. But verifiable computation...
This was like 6 months ago, no?
Yeah. But it's important to understand like the spectrum of intelligence that we're dealing with, especially when it comes to like verifiability and where it makes more sense. Also when it comes to like financial capital management. Most of the conversations that we are having today, or like you're overhearing today, like the term AI, most of the people resonate with like LLMs and generative models. Those things are still far from making financial decisions on behalf of users. I'm sure most of you have heard the Alpha Arena, the experiment that was like extremely interesting, but in the end, all of those models ended up losing money. What you need to manage capital, buy intelligence that, smaller prediction models, smaller financial algorithms that hasn't battle tested, that are fully deterministic. And there you can even make the argument whether verifiability makes sense at all or not. At Giza, we are quite, fascinated by the intent digestion that an LLM and a generative model can make, and how it can distribute different tasks, and those tasks are then executed by smaller agents that are specialized in yield projection and capital allocation and everything else. So it depends where you're looking at the stack. It depends where you want to put the verifiability. You should not just make it verifiable for the sake of making it verifiable. The work that we did with Rec News was, for example, verifiable content recommendation systems that finally lets like a Twitter or Facebook that is controlling your brains to be held responsible. Like, this algorithm is giving you this specific recommendation for a specific reason, and it will not be altered with. That's a very clear cut case for verifiable computation for me. In financial algorithms, like when it's deterministic, our agents are, you don't necessarily have to input it there. But there are different use cases that you can look into.
Thank you. Anto, we've seen recently that more than 5.5 million ETH was staked, and the competition, of AVS is accelerating, right? How do we ensure that AI agents acting in this environment, continue to be verifiable? And what's your take on that?
Yeah, so we recently launched verifiable inference. What that means is that when you ask ChatGPT like the same question twice, you get 2 different responses, right? So that's not very accountable. So we did some work, and we made some of the open source models deterministic. Now, if you ask the same question with the same seed, you always get the same response. And we signed the responses. So you can come back to us later and check, more like audit what I have done is as per the recommendations of this LLM, and it will always be one-to-one. If it is not, because we signed the response, you can flash the inference operator and get some money back. So now it is accountable as well. So we have this live with at least 4 models now. We have like the GPT OSS from OpenAI, we have Llama, we have Quen, and we are working on some of the bigger models. We also are thinking of running these products in full TEE. So now you get like privacy guarantees as well. So your prompts, we can't even read them. Now we have deterministic inference and verifiability with signatures. Now we will also add privacy on top with like Blackwell GPUs. We just have to get access to those here. And once you have those, you can verify all these yourselves. Like it's all open source. It's code you can read, yeah.
You just touched that, but privacy is becoming a big narrative. I want a quick overview, 1-2 sentences. Everyone in the crowd wants to know what's the narrative right now. Not bearish narrative, okay? Julien?
Narrative in privacy.
What's the narrative? Privacy might be one of the narratives
Well,
right
I think
now.
the biggest narrative in crypto today, of course, is privacy, confidentiality, privacy. How can you make sure that information you're receiving or the way you're interacting with those new products or AI agents in a private matter? Because the problem is like you're exchanging. I think that was really good what you said, like the way of being able to be accountable, but also to have your information and you, because a lot of people are uploading healthcare, complete healthcare history to models that then at the end knows better than yourself, better than your doctor, better than your personal assistant. And this is becoming a massive risk. Can you imagine that? I think one of the biggest human history risks that we are facing today is if OpenAI gets hacked, because it's way more than money. It's actually human knowledge, human history. This is causing a systematic risk to humanity because AI is being used by millions of people every day. And if this system was going to get hacked, everyone will know everything about everyone.
Yeah, I want to add to that. So recently there was a lawsuit. The New York Times sued OpenAI, and New York Times wants to see like 15,000 or like 15 million chat records of users to check if they use ChatGPT to bypass their paywall. But the requested chat records will expose way more than just if they used it to like bypass the paywall, right? And now OpenAI is fighting this in court. But if they lose, all your conversations, if you were included in that, becomes part of discovery and everyone learns all that. So even the CISO of OpenAI released their blog post 2 days ago. They said they are looking into like client-side encryption and TEEs, so even OpenAI cannot read your chat. So this is not something we are just imagining, it's happening. It's very hard to do this at scale because the amount of compute needed is way more, and Sam Altman cannot get enough GPUs right now to scale. So yeah, that is what we're dealing with. Yeah.
Just to add on to that, this might be a little bit anti-privacy thesis, but I'm a big believer in privacy. Our most recent investment is a high-performance privacy chain, and they go to market targeting enterprises, a bit similar to Seismic, if anyone knows that chain. But on the flip side, we have another portfolio company which actually has a bunch of browser sort of tab nodes, and they go to market right now is actually, if you give it permission, it won't give away your identity or your exact details, but if you give it permission, it can actually read your conversations with ChatGPT, and it also lets you know how ChatGPT is responding back to you. And you can imagine a lot of companies want to pay for this product right now because no one really, it's like the new SEO. No one really uses SEO anymore, like it's a dying market, and the new market is kind of like LLM SEO, whatever that's called. And so this team and this product actually, with your permission, gives the data actually to these companies willing to pay it. So I think there's like different customers in different markets paying for privacy, paying for not privacy. But I do think one very bullish thing in privacy and AI, all sort of related, is actually targeting enterprises. I'm very, very bullish on crypto that's abstracted that enterprises can use right now. The most recent investment we made, just to like go on that one a bit more, their go-to-market is an app in the ERP app store, like SAP or Oracle, essentially, and it's just a drop-down. You go from like PayPal to what this product's called, and you'll save like 80, 90%. It uses stablecoins in the background. And so like, workflows are the same, privacy is the same, you can't tell who you're paying, it's all using ZK. The ZK technology in general is there, like for example with Giza, like we have the stack, we have the tech right now. I do think that privacy should be abstracted though. It should just be something that like we have anyway, and like everything, in my opinion, hopefully should be private long term, but we have a long way to go until we actually get there right now. We have great work like Giza and even stuff that Julien is doing that are like getting us there. And you know, even TEs are private. I think a lot of people are pushing in that direction, but there's a long way to go right now.
Yeah, I personally see that. A few weeks ago, we were invited with Lava Network to MIT, and I spoke with the media lab there, and the head of professor was talking a bit about the convergence between intents, what limitation, what guardrails you give to the agent that representing you, and how it's being combined with the privacy aspect over the blockchain. So they really, obviously, super interesting junction, and yeah, we yet to see what's going to come up from that. And Rench, I would love to have your take.
Man, this is super fascinating to me because we have been building Giza since 2022, and we were the first company to ever build a zero-knowledge machine learning operation on blockchain ever. Because we were constantly thinking, like, if the computation is super heavy off-chain, how do you bring it on-chain? How do you keep the integrity? And for the first year, we kept like ambassadoring like verifiability, and everybody was like laughing at our face. No one really understood why you need something like verifiability. That was quite a painful process where a few got it. Julien was one of those people that got it. And then a couple of years fast forward in 2024, we were explaining everybody the use case of verifiable agents. And then they were again questioning it a lot, like what is agents, why do they need to be verifiable? And fast forward to 2025, now everybody's talking about verifiability because I think as they said, the infrastructure is finally there and the use cases are finally there. And now people really understand, oh, if this thing is going to manage X, Y, Z, I finally understand it needs to be verifiable because I want that additional trust or I want the additional privacy or anything you want to get. So I think as a narrative, ZK and zero-knowledge technology is finally like at the point where it can be adopted to many, many things. And I think we're going to see some very interesting use cases.
Maybe we can work on that together, but that's a partnership.
Would love to. Would love to.
So we're about to wrap up, but just before that, I heard at the beginning of 2025 that statistics said AI transaction with AI agents will consume 50% by the end of the year. We are close to the end of the year. I don't think that's the facts now. What's your take on that? Maybe 2-3 sentences. And when is the moment that will actually happen?
I can start. We have contributed to 1 million to that number, where we have 1 million financial transactions executed by Giza agents. Most of them happened when people are sleeping, and 100% of them put that user in a more profitable place when they woke up.
AI agents don't drink coffee and don't take breaks.
Exactly. They don't drink coffee, they don't do panels, they don't take 13-hour flights to Buenos Aires.
They're not looking at the phone.
They don't look at their phone, exactly, but they keep working your capital for you. So we are very much at a place where in the beginning of 2025, maybe these things were more theoretical, but now these things are very much in production. For that million transactions, there's 10,000 active users of Giza today. Their positions are actively being managed by Giza agents and our infrastructure. And as a result, they are around 2x more profitable than they would be with a static version. So I think this is going to snowball itself because everything that we are seeing in the past few weeks, especially like the collaterals, the curators, and everything else in between, are all justifications where you need a more 24/7 entity that will execute your policies for you, your security parameters, your risk parameters, your capital requirements for you. And I think maybe by the end of the year, we will not get to that number, but let's do another panel next year and we'll talk again.
Staking Summit, did you hear? Like next year, same time here. What's your take, Anto?
Yeah, so more than just trading, we are seeing transactions with financial implications. Like X402, for example, right? So we have the infrastructure to create these agents that are secure and can manage user funds because the infrastructure gives you assurance that the developer cannot just take all your funds and exit. So we have that today. We have like the privacy guarantees with TE. We have the accountability with determinism. So now we see a lot of X402 agents and other projects that are improving their trust assumptions when they make financial transactions. I think that number is going up really high, really fast.
Good.
Just quickly, I think we need more product builders in crypto, and I think a lot of infra has been built already, and agents even outside crypto don't have a tremendous amount of PMF, so we need more people thinking about where the demand is, what people use, how they want to use it, what they're going to pay for, and I think that use case hasn't necessarily been discovered yet, so I'm excited to see what's built in the next 12, 24 months.
Julien?
Well, you still have 2 months left before the end of the year, no? So the thing is, like, agents are not playing the same time frame as ours, so it can go exponential, logarithmic, and by the time you are at the end of the year, you already have, instead of million transactions, you already have a billion or trillion. The thing is, it cannot really grasp timing with the same speed as AI are going. It's like playing the game at accelerated mode. An AI agent can watch all the movies ever made in human history, or yourself, you'll be struggling. So it's really difficult for ourselves to conceptualize or Cartesian reasoning how fast those things are going. Because the more computers are getting to the market, the more capabilities of those things are able to make. And when you have AGI or more advanced LLM, then ourselves, humans, will be extremely difficult to catch up with the information and catch up with what the capability of those things are able to achieve.
Definitely, yeah. You were one step ahead of me. I wanted to finish with, I think one of the challenges today is to keep
Always.
up. Keep up, huh?
Always.
Always.
A step ahead of us.
Okay, we see that next year. So one of the challenges that we have today is really to keep up with all this information, trends, coming up, waking up in the morning with the right agent that aggregating for us the news relevant for us and taking us to the next steps. Guys, I'm proud of you, the ones that didn't use the phone. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to host this panel.
Thank you, Yair.
Thank you.